Going up to the coming under separate cover too. Some of them, most of them already got here. Beams that hold the house up. There are I-beams across the roof, floor, under this deck. It's just a big rigid box made out of I-beams. But the only problem with building with steel back in that time was the only way to make connections was generally accepted to be rivets or nuts and bolts. This would have been way too messy and a visual distraction for Mies. That's when he decided that the house needed to be welded together. So that made it very difficult to take apart. People who wanted to purchase the house, many of them thought that they could do that thanks to Sotheby's intervention, but in fact it is welded together. In addition to welding, they also used a slightly different variation called plug welds on some of the areas where it's visible. Of course, a plug weld involves drilling a hole through both pieces of steel, welding it on the front and back, and then when you're done, you grind the front down, paint it over. All of that almost completely visually disappears, which is, I think, very characteristic of Mies, to spend a great deal of effort to make it appear effortless. So I think we're ready to break up into smaller groups, go inside of the house. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to decide. Okay. Yeah. One of the things we thought about earlier, we thought
no photos inside, okay? But in case you haven't noticed, it's a glass house.
Pick up the
Out here, you can take pictures. Oh, hi, Karen.
Hi.
systems, electrical, water, things like that. Wide open interior space. These partitions started off as movable. Now they've got electricity and things like that, so they're fixed. These kind of cubicles, very controversial. The former president of the college put them in. It's all reversible. You know, they can be moved. So, and they're actually at the scale of the frosted windows, so it sort of makes sense when you're in there. You think it's that universal space, and you think it'd be incredibly noisy. It's not. You know, every architecture student has a program in here. They try to do it every semester. Sometimes it's just one semester. We'll walk past one of the early buildings. We're going to see the chapel, at least the exterior, but again, it's transparent, so, you know, I might have security just see. We're going to go through this building. This is actually Remco House. 2003, there was a competition for this building. The challenging part of it was, of course, the elevated tracks that go through the middle of the site. And he literally built the building under the train tracks, you know, and it was a very successful